Hey YouTube, coming at you with my last Spring Cup team. In this one, I wanted to test out Shiftry, because I'll go over Shiftry's history and its strengths and weaknesses in a minute here. And then I'm going to go over a bit of not a rant, but just discussion on this cup and GBL in general. So yeah, Pelipper Shiftry started with Quagsire, and then I put in Tropius second half. Shiftry, I'll just play it, and then I'll just start talking about Shiftry. Shiftry is an interesting one. So for those of you who are either newer to GBL, just newer to GBL, Shiftry was very, very, very meta relevant in the Great League for the first maybe 2 seasons of GBL. Like, it was on the majority of teams, and the reason that it was on the majority of teams, let me just go see if I can look up the Great League matchups here. So you got to remember a couple things. One is, back in the day, there weren't a lot of Pokemon, right? A lot of the Pokemon that it loses to now weren't available, quite honestly, right? So I'm looking at like Annihilate, Clodsire, Chargebug, Gligar, no, wasn't really relevant. So a lot of things that it beat, that it lost to, it used to beat. It was a lot of things that it would lose to now weren't around. But some of the staples of the Great League meta in the early seasons, it beat. So Swampert destroys. Azumarill destroys. Sableye, it beats. Excel's run a thing. Altaria, it's actually a close matchup, 5-17 there. So Umbreon, evenish matchup. So that was the meta, right? So back in the day, it did very, very well. It's not ranked high now for a couple of reasons. One is, if you just look at the stat products, it never had the stat products to compete. 130, it's a glass cannon. 134 attack, 87 defense, 142 stamina, 1671 overall. Only gets up to level 24. And once Excels became a thing, it just kind of disappeared. It was a mixture of like the XLs coming into play, which just made like these level 20 Pokemon with a terrible stat product not useful anymore. And then it also the meta changed, right? The meta changed, more fighters, more medis and stuff. So its typing is actually a huge problem. So it is a grass dark. So let's just go over the movesets. So terrible stat product. Movesets, it got a community day move. Bullet Seed and Snarl, clones of each other. Same damage per energy, same energy per turn. So whether you use Bullet Seed or Snarl, does not matter. It does the same damage and same energy generation. But then Leaf Blade and Foul Play are quite good quick moves, which is what you need on a Pokemon this classy. Leaf Blade, 35 energy, 84 damage, 2.4 energy. And then Foul Play, slightly lower, same damage, 84 damage, more energy, 45 energy for 1.87, which is still not anything bad for a 45 energy move, right? So you got a hard-hitting, quick moves with some coverage. So it was very, very strong from that perspective. The typing, holy smokes. Grass Dark has 7 weaknesses. Double weak to Bug, and then single weak to Fairy, Fighting, Fire, Flying, Ice, and Poison. And you can just tell right there why this thing became obsolete in the Open Great League, right? Look at you just saw it just got deleted by the Poliwrath. Right? There's fighting everywhere. There's not a ton of Fairy anymore, but there's flying everywhere. There's a huge increase in poisons. So it really just lost its footing. In this Spring Cup meta, same sort of thing. The problem is, like, yes, you have some nice matchups, right? Because you do have very, very quick charging Leaf Blades, which hit super effective against the waters. You got Trevenants out there, which you resist all the moves. But it's just like, you have Lantern here, right? You are going to see how glassy this thing is. Just like, look at those sparks up here. This will not one-shot because Lantern's too tanky. A lot of these Pokemon that came in are too tanky. But here comes the second one already, right? This was always the strength of Shiftry. It was just so fast charging and hard hitting. Out comes Poliwrath. This one's going to hit. Won't KO, but it's going to do a ton of damage. So putting in the work here. But again, just gets deleted by a lot of stuff now, right? And so for this meta, it has it again. It does decent against like Fairthorn and Trevenant. It kills, and it does like decent, good against the waters. But then there's like poisons everywhere. In Roserade and Tentacruel, and then there's Poliwrath as a fighter. So it doesn't have a ton of play. But it's not the worst. It's just not good. So that is Shiftry and the history behind it and its strengths. This has been a brutal week. I don't fault anyone for not watching my videos. Even trying to get through these Spring Cup teams for the second week has been painful. Like I said, I have to ensure that GBL is not getting stale for me. Because at the end of last season, I always said, like, I did every single set of every single game since they allowed you to play. Like so seasons 1 and 2, you had to walk 3 kilometers to get a set. I'm pretty sure it was 3 kilometers to get a set. And then I think in season 3 they dropped season 3 or season 4 they dropped that requirement, and now it's just you get to 5 sets per day. And since they dropped that requirement, I played every single set every single day since season 4. Last season, you guys know I was getting sort of burnt out of GBL. I stopped. I hit Legend, and then a couple days after I hit Legend, I did like a few sets, not all my sets, but a few sets, and then I like didn't play for like 4 or 5 days. So to avoid that burnout, I have been pacing myself. I have been the first few days of GBL, I played all 5, and then but now as we're in the second week of Spring Cup, there's days that I've done like 1 set, maybe even like 3 games in a set, and that's okay. And then there's like yesterday, where I had a good team. It's a team that, like, if you look at my safe team yesterday, it's kind of variety on that. It's Poliwrath, Tentacruel, and I'm using Mawile. And for some reason, I just like good alignment or just working in the current meta. I'm up to like 24 something. So I'm at like 24 something with that team, approaching Legend, and I did all 5 sets, right? So I think it's just being able to play the game without having to like focus on going hard constantly is helping me out here. GBL in general, I don't know if it's GBL in general or Pokemon Go in general, and I don't want to get too doom and gloom because we are in what I call one of the worst periods for Pokemon Go in their cycle of the seasons, right? So for those of you who don't know, there's 4 seasons. There's 4 seasons of Pokemon Go, and the summer one is always the best because you have like a Dragon Community Day plus a Global Go Fest. So the summer one is always the best, and then I would argue the fall one is always second best because you have like Halloween Cup. Halloween is always like one of the best other events, and then the third worst is probably the next season, which is like the Christmas season, because like holiday cup, not holiday cup, but like holidays events are usually pretty good. So from that perspective, it's like, okay, that's good. But then like January, February is kind of a lull, and then you get from basically March till May, which we're in right now, and it is one of the worst parts of the season because you just went kind of hard. You're coming off Christmas. You had like a global Sinnoh tour in January, February. And the prep is for the summer coming up, for like a Dragon Community Day in June and Global Go Fest and the in-person Go Fest in July and August. July, I guess, this season. So from that perspective, this 3-month period will be the worst period. I've seen it on views. Every single one of these videos is like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 videos. Just to give you perspective, like my video this morning is 3 hours in. Usually 3 hours in, I'm at like, I don't know, 1.5 to 2,000 views. And if you look at my last 5 videos, they're all below 900, right? So we're looking at a 40% dip in viewership here, which is okay. Like I'm not, and my subscriber growth has plummeted, which is fine. I'm not, this is the time where you just got to kind of grind through this. Now, I don't love, limited cups are fine. It's not like this is a single typing cup, right? Because single typing cups are the worst. This has at least 3 typings. However, you really can't do a 3 typing cup for 2 weeks straight. These are the types of things that are good for like 1 week straight. And looking at the next 3 weeks, well, I gotta look at this. So next 2 weeks for sure, great. Open Great League, Ultra League, Master League. People would be interested in that. Great League, Ultra Premier League. I think Ultra Premier League is going to be way more popular than Great League because I think a lot of people will be interested in trying an Ultra League without legendary Pokemon, without Registeel, without Cresselia, without Defense Deoxys, without Guzzlord. I think a lot of people will be interested in that. So I'm interested in Ultra Premier. And then you have Ultra League and Jungle Cup. And they did it again. And so Jungle Cup is, at least with Jungle Cup, it has a variety. Because you at least have 7 typings. Normal, actually maybe more. Normal, grass, electric, poison, ground, flying, bug, and dark. 8 typings, right? So Great League Jungle Cup, 8 typings should give you quite a lot of variety. Now, it is on 2 weeks again. Ultra League and Jungle Cup, Great League and Ultra League, and then Master League and Jungle Cup. So again, it's one of those things where it's like, maybe in April 5th to 12th, people split their time between Ultra League and Jungle Cup. But then, like, again, you're looking at Master League and Jungle Cup straight up. So it may get a bit boring in the second half. And the thing I just don't understand with, it looks like for the rest of the season, they don't do that anymore. They have, this is now what? I don't know. How many seasons of GBL have we done? 16, 17 seasons of GBL? They have done, there's 2 things that are bothering me. The first is you have, if you don't even want to be creative, which they don't in GBL, if you don't want to be creative, you have probably 20 plus different specialty cups. There's no reason for you to run Spring Cup Great League and Jungle Cup Great League 2 weeks in a row, right? Run one of your 15 to 20 other leagues that you have in the second week just to change it up, right? It would actually, like, I'm looking at the next, like, this week has been brutal for GBL, and I'm sure that not a lot of people are playing, and it's just gonna be just as bad on April 12th to 19th when it's the second week of Jungle Cup and Master League. Like, if you just put in a different league, that's, even if it's a repeat of the past, but it's at least 3 to 5 typings for 1 week, that would draw interest to that week as opposed to a second week of the same cup. But the second part that actually is bothering me a bit here is the less creative thing they did is these catch cups. So I hate the catch cups. Don't get me wrong. I hate the catch cups, but at least it's creative, right? It's a limited, it's an end of season. It gives you 2 to 3 months to catch Pokemon. And it would at least shift the meta a little bit. Again, it does reward people who have caught Pokemon during that season, but at least they've like thought outside the box. Like, hey, this would be interesting if you have like a limited time period to build up Pokemon. That is at least creative. That was 3 seasons ago. They have not put in any effort into making new metas. Now, I want to say making new metas is hard. I am playing in Frontier, which replaced Sylph, and I'm playing in Gym Breakers, which is like a world sort of championship league. And people always create new metas for these. And the metas get stale very quickly. So I'm in one for Gym Breakers where it's like limited typings, but then like certain Pokemon can't use certain moves. So like Charmers can't use Charm. Double cannot use Double Kick. It has to use Tackle. So like they try to get creative that way. That being said, the meta still gets pretty stale and narrow quickly. So the problem I have with GBL is that Niantic isn't even trying to get creative here, right? They have their 15 to 20 cups that they've always used. Spring Cup is not new. Jungle Cup is not new. The Premier Leagues, Ultra League Premier, Master League Premier, thank you for bringing them back. Like they've been out for like 3 seasons now, so thank you for bringing them back. But they're not new. There was also an Electric Cup Great League, but we're not even going to talk about a single typing cup because those should not be in existence. But if you look at the entire 3-month schedule, you have an Electric Cup single typing, 2 Spring Cups in a row, 2 Jungle Cups in a row. All these premieres, remixes. Again, remixes are not new. And then these catch cups, and and so it's just the creativeness that is lacking, right? It's truly like, what do we have in the bank for leagues? We're going to rotate Great League, Ultra League, Master League every week. We're going to put in options for some sort of Great League when Master League is on. But there's no like trying to think of like new metas. I will give them that they have been trying to shift metas at the beginning of the season with move updates. I have noticed that. I think the move updates the last 2 seasons have been quite good. I hated the meta last season, but they've adjusted that, and I think it's wider this season. So I appreciate them actually doing a little more for movesets changes, but I think there needs to be a little more done on league changes and thinking about new leagues as opposed to just like redoing old ones and not thinking about it. But anyways, that is it. That is it for this season. I have another team. It was an all-water team. So again, I am up at like 2,400. I used an all-water team with Dugong, Tentacruel, and Poliwrath. And it's just basically 3. You have 3 water Pokemon. I stole kind of the idea from Tho because Tho used a triple grass team. He's like, take out the RPS, use a triple grass team. I'm up at 2,600. And I'm like, I wonder if that would work for water. I'm like, with water, you need to cover your grass weakness. So you can cover that with Tentacruel, a poison, and Dugong, and ice, right? So that's how I did it. Team worked well. So if you want to use that team, I'm not going to showcase it because, again, videos are bad. I actually have, and instead of using the time on doing that video, I actually have like 3 Great League teams from early in the season that I can get ahead on videos for next week. So that's what I'm going to do. So you'll see lots of Great League videos next week. But yeah, anyways, that's my thoughts on the state of GBL and just how it can be a little bit better. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching if you've actually watched these videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.